The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where Wally teaches and where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. This podcast is also brought to you by United Faith Mortgage. Let their direct lender advantage save you time and money.
Uplifting WayFM.
If you're not careful, you might just learn something today.
Hi there. Is there a project you're working on? I know more than you. All right.
It's The Wally Show.
Finally, some good news for you guys who are on the shorter side, which would include Wally and Gavin.
I see no shorter side men here.
Both coming in at a whopping 5'6".
I see two very average height males.
Me too.
A new study done by medical professionals found that tall people, and that's anyone considered taller than 5'9".
5'9" is considered tall?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me feel a little better.
Are at a higher risk for over 100 different health conditions. So that's
knew it.
Bad news.
No, it's great news for us. Bad news for you if you're throwing your height in our face all the time.
They can throw it down in your face.
Yeah. You're dropping your height on us.
A few of those health conditions include blood clots.
What?
Very serious. Irregular heartbeat.
Yeah, because it's got to pump it higher. And farther.
Ulcers and bone infections. And so while scientists aren't sure yet what the cause is, what the tie of it is, the one guess is, like you were saying, that it's harder for the heart to pump blood through the body when you're taller. So I guess when you're smaller...
You're smarter, too. I figured it out.
The heart's like, oh, yeah, I can get it over there to those stubby little legs.
Yeah. Yeah, like if Gavin or I needed to go in for a heart transplant, they could use a mouse. And we'd be fine.
Gavin's a threat. He's understated and underrated, but I think he could steal this game.
Uplifting WayFM. This is the Wally Show. We have a WayFM prize pack for you if you want to play our little game here. And because Gavin knows so much, his head is wider than the average human's head.
Wow.
Yeah, well, because...
It actually is.
It is, because you have crammed so much knowledge in there that is dying to get out. Like, it would not be fair to have you take on somebody in, trivia questions because they could never beat you.
It's so true.
Right.
I mean, and I am just amazed at your ability to turn something negative to sound like
negative.
It's positive, Wally.
Yeah, it's
Well
very
done.
positive.
Well,
Yeah.
he's pretty much telling you have a big fat head.
I do, but now I'm going to take it as a compliment.
Yeah, it's a giant head. It's a noggin the size of noggins that
a watermelon.
Yeah,
if
it's
you will.
uncomparable.
Charlie Brown has nothing on him.
No, it's ginormous, but it's all knowledge based. Okay, so you are not going. Your poor self-esteem. You are not going to be able to beat Gavin outright. So all you have to do, though, is guess, will Gavin get it? I'm going to ask Gavin a question, and then you just say, you know what? I think this is in his wheelhouse. He'll get it. Or this one might be outside the scope of his knowledge. Maybe it hasn't seeped in there yet. He's not going to get it. If it matches you with your decision, then you will win a point. Get enough points, win a prize.
Maybe you've had friends or family tell you in the past, wow, you're full of knowledge. That big head of yours is really paying off.
Yeah.
This is your time to call.
855-33-WayFM is the number. That's 855-33-WayFM. We'll do a little Will Gavin Get It right now with you if you want to take a chance at winning a prize. 855-33-WayFM.
Gavin's a threat. He's understated and underrated, but I think he could steal this game.
Uplifting WayFM, this is the Wally Show. Lisa, welcome to Will Gavin Get It, the fast-paced game show where you can win a WayFM prize pack. And you don't have to know more than Gavin. All you have to do is guess whether or not Gavin will get the question right. Have you ever seen Gavin's head?
Well, I think mine's bigger than Gavin's, so I think I can probably hold my own.
Really? Okay. Now I wish we were putting you against each other, but we're not going to do that. All you're going to have to do is tell us, will Gavin get it? Because he's got a lot of knowledge crammed up in there. So here we go. Question number one. What does the PS stand for at the end of a letter? Now, Gavin is younger, and he probably doesn't write a lot of letters anymore, but we still put PS at the end of our emails. And so do you think, Lisa, that Gavin will get this right or wrong?
I don't think he'll get it right, because most people, sorry, Gavin, your age, don't know what that stands for.
Okay. How old are you, Lisa?
I'm 56.
Oh, you absolutely know.
I don't think I've written PS in maybe a decade or so.
Well, she says you're not going to get it right. Gavin, what do you think PS stands for?
Oh, man. Do I get multiple choice or
You
am
do
I
not,
just...
because I thought this was easy.
Okay.
No.
I wanted to be really confident today, but this has completely thrown me off. Per statement.
Per statement.
That feels
Feels pretty
totally
good.
wrong.
Okay, all
but-
right. It feels wrong.
Yeah.
Well,
is.
then that means it's right, because it feels so wrong that you are wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. Lisa, what does it stand for?
Postscript.
Postscript is what it stands for. Postscript,
Okay.
like it's after all the script
Oh,
writing. So,
okay.
postscript, side note, kind of thing. Afterthought. Well, there you go. You got that right, Lisa. Nicely done. Okay, this one I'll give you some choices
Okay.
on, Gavin. What is the middle name of former President Jimmy Carter? Is it Baron, Earl, or Duke? Those are all titles. So, Lisa, do you think he's going to get this right or wrong?
I think you'll get it wrong.
Think he'll get it wrong. Going against you again. Okay, here we go, Gavin. Baron, Earl, or Duke? Jimmy Carter's middle name.
I think based on my 4th grade history class, and somebody played him in a wax museum, and I think his middle name was Earl.
Earl?
Yeah.
Jimmy Earl Carter?
Sure.
He is from Georgia.
Sure.
Jimmy Earl, come on over here. I think it used to be one name, Jimmy Earl. But that is his middle name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that is wrong for Lisa because she said you would get it wrong. Here we go. Final question. We're going to dip our toe into fashion.
Oh, boy.
By what name is the fashion designer Gabrielle Chanel better known for? Now, Betty Rock obviously knows this.
I do?
I would think. I mean, I know it. Uh-oh. So is it Coco, Didi, Mimi, or Lulu? What do you think, Lisa? Is he going to get this right or wrong?
I'm going to go with wrong.
3 times she said that Gavin will get this wrong. All right, Gavin. Chanel, the name. Coco, Didi, Mimi, or Lulu? What do you think?
I'll be proud to get this wrong.
Okay.
I'm going to say Lulu because that's the only other name I can think of in the fashion industry.
Like Lululemon?
Yeah.
Yes. And so Lisa said you were wrong. You are absolutely wrong, which means Lisa wins. Betty, you know this, right?
I don't.
Come on.
What is it, Wally?
How do you know? It's Coco Chanel.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Coco
I've
Chanel.
heard of that name.
You have? Okay.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't own any of that fancy stuff.
I don't.
Yeah. You know what? I don't even have a polo pony on my shirt. I got a donkey. So I got a polo donkey.
Okay.
Well, Lisa, congratulations. You bet against Gavin all 3 times and it paid off for you.
Thanks, Gavin.
You're welcome.
And now for some good news.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show with a little good news. Giddy up. 3 rapid fire good news stories coming at you because the regular news can be a little bit of a bummer. So we're going to start with me. I feel like going first today. Okay. There was a woman in California that got a free couch and a matching chair. She went to Craigslist and got this. And as she's going through it, kind of cleaning it up, she looks in the cushions, finds $36,000.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can't even imagine. That's got to be old people.
Oh,
Has
for
to be.
sure. There's something about the older generation that they were raised to believe don't trust in banks.
Yeah.
You hide it anywhere and everywhere in your house. But when they pass on and their
Yeah, you
relatives
don't
are
know.
left to clean, they could be getting rid of money. Like
So,
this situation.
Here's what's amazing, though. The lady gave the money back to the guy who put it there because the guy who put it there had recently passed away and his family had no idea, like exactly what you're saying. And so I guess somehow it had come up the lady had also been looking for a fridge, so they gave her $2,200 to buy a new fridge out of
how
$36,000.
awesome is
There you go.
that?
I'm like, that's a win-win
Yeah.
all the way around. Betty Rock, good news, giddy up, go.
There was a bunch of nurses that typically they save the lives of people, but in this situation, they saved the life of a little kitten
Nice.
who had been trapped under a grate outside the hospital. So all the nurses, I think it was a good amount of them, like 12, they got down there and wrapped him. They swaddled him like they do the little newborn baby.
All I see, though, is some poor dude laying in his hospital bed hitting his nurse call button. Beep, beep, beep.
Stop.
Beep, beep, beep.
This is more
My
important.
pain is intolerable. Beep, beep,
This
beep.
is more important. And the kitten was adopted by one of the nurses, and
Nice.
his name is Trent, after the place he was found, Trenton, New Jersey.
Oh, I like that. It's a good name, too, for a
Yeah.
cat, Trent. I like that. All
So
right,
cute.
Gavin, bring it home. Good news, Giddy up.
Someone's pet tortoise, didn't know people had pet tortoises. He went missing in 1982. Then they found it.
How do you lose a tortoise, first of all? It's
It was like 2 seconds at a
yeah,
time.
we named him Flash for a reason. One minute he was here, the next minute he was just gone.
So they did find him 30 years later.
What?
Still alive. And I don't even know how. He was living in the attic.
How did he get up the stairs?
I don't know.
Yeah, like there's a lot of questions
Yeah.
I have.
It's
How
an
did he
amazing
live?
tortoise.
How did he live up there?
What did he
mean-
drink? What did he eat?
Yeah.
Like, that's so many, I don't even know, but okay, well, good on him.
Yeah.
Tortoises are pretty resilient.
Oh, yeah.
No,
It's
they're
gonna,
like-
at the end of this whole world, it's going to be cockroaches and tortoises apparently running the show. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. And if you've got a prayer request, and maybe it's one that you don't want to do at small group because it's a little personal or people know you, we have this thing called the prayer wall. And I know it seems crazy. Well, then I'm going to post it, for everyone to see. But you don't have to use your name. You can be anonymous. And the cool thing about it is when you post your prayer at wayfm.com, you will have people praying for you, because there are people that's what they do. We have a prayer team, and they are on there praying for people, and you'll get a notification that says, oh, somebody prayed for you right now. And those notifications, I think, are really cool. And the prayer requests that are there are just all over the place. You've got one from Nancy saying, my son Josh has multiple surgeries to remove tumors on either side of his head to repair his hearing. Please pray for him and his doctor. So there's a mom worried about her kids, and that's all, it's so hard. But then you've got another one that says, if I can have my own place in the next month, I will get full custody of my daughter back. I'm requesting a prayer to get this place so I can be the amazing mother I once was. So there's a lot in that story.
Yeah.
There were some life decisions probably, or probably life decisions that didn't go well, lost her kids. And now she wants to make it right, start anew, and rebuild that relationship with her kids. That's a big deal.
Yeah, and when you find yourself in difficult situations, it's tough enough doing it on your own.
Yeah.
And a lot of people find themselves feeling alone when they're in a hard time. But that's what's so great about the prayer wall. When you text the word pray to 91979, we send you a link and you can see all these requests. When you click that box saying, hey, I prayed for you, they get that notification saying, hey, somebody's on your team. And that makes them feel like I'm not alone in
Right.
this. Someone's looking out for me.
Yeah, and in this case, you got two mothers with two very different situations, but both worried about their kids.
Yep.
And looking for some comfort and peace in that. And you could be that part of the equation. You could actually bring them a little bit of comfort when they need it most. And so that's what makes the prayer wall so special. And it's at wayfm.com, or like Betty Rock said,
Text the word pray to 91979. Coffee shops, poolside, back porch, picnic table at the park, at your kid's soccer practice. Just about anywhere can be your classroom when you decide to go back to school online at Colorado Christian University.
I know I got my degree online, and I actually did a homework at a campsite. I was sitting around a campfire writing a paper. That is where I did some of my work that weekend. So life doesn't have to stop just because you go back to school to better yourself. You can work towards this future and this goal that you want to accomplish, and it doesn't have to totally consume you or derail your normal life with friends, your family, or what have you.
And you can earn accredited degrees from Colorado Christian without ever setting foot on campus.
So there really shouldn't be an excuse to not going back to school. If it's something you really want to do, you can do it. And all you have to do is go to ccu.edu/Wally to learn more. And the other really important thing is that Colorado Christian is committed to cultivating the mind without compromising the heart. So check it out, ccu.edu/Wally.
Uplifting Way FM.
We definitely need a little more of this in the world.
Oh, that's how you do it, kids.
It's The Wally Show.
So when the pandemic hit a couple years ago, we all had to find ways to pass the time in our homes. And there was a group of moms who decided to start a garage band. Well, not actually. They're doing better than that. They started a fully finished basement band with carpet and a fireplace.
Nice.
They're not roughing it, let's be honest. But they decided to do this, and the amazing part is it was for fun, and some of the moms had never picked up an instrument before. And if you're thinking about doing doing this yourself, play bass. It's the easiest instrument to learn to get into a band. That's what I did. And one mom, though, she definitely wasn't even bass material. She just plays a tambourine. Just hits that.
Nice.
So they were like, all right, we're gonna let Violet in. We have to. She's kind of the next door neighbor. She'll know we're here. Give her a tambourine. So that's what they did. And so now it's transitioned to them playing out and selling out their shows in their town.
Really?
Yes.
They must be really good.
Well, I don't know. Okay, so I love the name of the band. The name of the band is the Lazy Susans.
Oh, that's cute.
So good. Like that, I could not have named that better. And believe it or not, they're in talks for a potential movie or television deal.
No, they're not.
I could
No
see
way.
it, though. I could see this being a movie. Like, this isn't a TV series, but it could be a movie, and then it gets to where, like, it's way bigger than they are. It's all,
They're
fake, but-
getting a lot bigger than your band, Heaven's Fire.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The moms are doing better.
Yeah, the moms are doing great. And so, okay, so how do they sound? That's the big key. So here you go. Here's a little bit of the Lazy Susans.
Ooh.
Kind of go-go's.
Hot flash, 4 to 10.
Yeah, talking about the things the ladies know.
At it again, you got it. I know who you are. Lock it, stock it, pop it like a rocket. You can rock it, plug it, never gonna stop. You gotta strike up on the
Yeah.
taste of what I got.
Yeah, I mean, it basically, it sounds like you would expect. Like, it's 3-chord Monty, and it's not great. I mean, it's not great by any stretch of the imagination.
It's not terrible either.
It's not terrible. So, I mean, it sounded, but I was hoping that, somewhere they realized one of them is a virtuoso, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So that just sounds like you would expect, okay? And not because they're moms, but just because it sounds like people that have never played.
Are you a little jealous?
Just a little. No, but here's the thing. There's a bigger lesson inside of this, I think, that's kind of cool. They say, that moms, I think they were smart because as moms, you got to give your kids deadlines. So what they did was they gave themselves a deadline to play this porch series that was happening in their neighborhood. And they gave themselves 6 months to get ready to learn how to play and write or do some cover songs. And so that's what made them have to practice and work towards a goal. And then they made that goal and then they exceeded that goal.
That's so cute.
I think that's a really good idea. They said they were terrified to play in front of people, but the deadline is terrifying, but it really motivates you and forces you to get your act together. And since that time, they're like, writing their own songs now. So there you go.
That is so awesome.
Good on them. I think that's fun.
Do you mean that?
I do. I think it's fun. It's not a song I would ever listen to, but I think it's fun and good for them, Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. And just like friends, we want to hear about your weekend. Because maybe it was better than ours. I don't know. We'll be comparative, maybe even be a little jealous here. But it's your one-word weekend, okay? So what was your weekend in one word? Mine would be surprising. Ooh, surprising, yes.
Okay.
Surprising weekend. I had a grill station that I built, and I used it for the first time, and it did not burn down. I'm pretty happy about that.
That's a win.
And my wife had told me recently, she's like, yeah, I don't like the way you cook steaks. And so I just would prefer to get those out.
Ouch.
Yeah, I know, right? As a man, you're like, well, you just demasculated me, but okay. But I made a steak. And we'll talk about this probably on the show tomorrow, all the details of it. But I made a steak that she loved and was like, I would like that again.
Ooh.
Oh,
So surprising.
well done.
I know, because she's super picky
She is.
and opinionated and a whole bunch of other no.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, so it was surprising for me. So I was
like that.
really happy about that. It was a good weekend for that. So
I like that.
yeah. So what is your weekend? That's it. Your weekend in one word, a one-word weekend. Fill in that blank. 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll get Gavin and Betty's as well. But what is your one-word weekend? 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll take yours now. What do you got?
It was fantastic.
Fantastic. Okay, you sound still like you're on that weekend. You sound really happy. What was it that made you so happy? It feels like grandkids were involved.
Actually, no, just kid.
Oh, kid, okay.
Saturday was my birthday. I live in Florida. My family lives in Maryland. But my son flew down and surprised me for my birthday.
Oh, that is the best.
Yes, it was.
When was the last time you had seen him?
Well, I go up there once a year, usually around Labor Day.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, you don't get to see him much.
No.
I went to see my mom recently. She's been staying with my sister for like a month, and so we drove over to surprise her, and she was so surprised and so happy, and I could not resist. She's living with my sister, and I couldn't resist when we got there. I'm like, see this, Jenny? See how happy Mom is? This is a present. Well, I'm happy for you, Juanita. Thanks for being on with us today.
Thank you.
All right, Michelle, your weekend in one word. What was it?
It was fishing.
Oh, okay. Now, is this that you went fishing or your husband went fishing and you got some time alone?
I went fishing with my husband, and then my in-laws and our daughter and sister-in-law and niece were fishing all together.
Oh, that's fun. You know what they say about the family that fishes together? They all smell like fish. It's not a great saying, but it's a saying nonetheless.
Michelle.
So, Michelle, how many fish did you catch?
In 2 hours, my husband and I caught 51.
Holy cow.
My goodness, that's amazing.
I've been on fishing trips with my dad, and all I caught was a branch.
Yes, but the coolest thing of it all is my daughter was fishing with her pole, and she accidentally dropped it in the water. So I thought, okay, we're just going to have to get her a new fishing pole, not a big deal. But as we're getting ready to leave the water, we see this bobber floating around, and it didn't belong to any of us. So my niece was able to get the bobber with the fishing net and realized that it was the bobber from my daughter's fishing pole, and there was a fish on the hook. So my sister-in-law started pulling in the line, and up comes my daughter's fishing pole.
So you guys caught a fishing pole and a fish on the fishing pole just floating there. That's pretty amazing.
Yep.
Seems like you should have your own bass fishing television show.
Right.
You know?
How not to do it, but do it just
but
the
still
same.
win. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What is it?
Bittersweet.
Bittersweet. Oh, this could mean a myriad of things, because you have that good and bad combined. So what happened?
My great uncle passed away, and we drove back to his funeral. He was the last of my grandfather's 12 siblings.
Oh, wow.
That was kind of the sad part of it. But the sweet part was that, we could all rejoice together as a family, knowing that he was going to be in heaven with his entire family. And I got to see some cousins that I haven't seen in years and reconnect with them.
That is the good part about funerals, because they're sad, obviously, because you have this loss, but then you do reconnect with people, and hopefully, too, because you said, we really, it's so bad that we get together under these circumstances, and we need to make sure we don't let it go this long again. And if you make good on that, then there was some purpose in that.
Exactly.
Rock, what would your one-word weekend be?
Mine would be yippee.
Yippee! That's fun.
Not so much in my case. I'm dog sitting for a friend of mine. She has 3 dogs, and they're waking me up multiple times at night.
Oh, they're those yippy dogs, like yippy yappies? Oh, yeah. It's weird because I'm in some uncharted territory here because I want to say something, but then I know, I'm trying to bond with you over... Okay, walk me through the best way to say this, okay?
Well, if you've got to ask for the best way to say it, maybe there isn't a good way.
Well, there probably isn't, but walk me through it from a lady's perspective, if you would, okay? So, how would you tell someone when you're trying to commiserate with them and feel their pain a little bit and say, oh, yeah, you look tired, which you cannot say to women, obviously.
Nope.
But how do I commiserate to let you know that I can see that it was a rough night for you and I feel bad for you? What would I say?
You just don't say, I can see it written all over your face. You say, oh, I feel your pain.
I feel your pain.
You don't have to make a comment about what you see physically on my face.
Right, okay, so, oh my goodness, I can tell from the bags under your eyes it was a long night. That's bad. Off the table.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's off.
Off the table. Okay, good to know. Good to know. That's what Gavin wanted to say.
No.
Gavin!
Monday School is a chance for Wally to share what he learned at church and prove that he went.
So inside of church, we have a tendency to make sure that we keep up appearances. However, when pressure is applied, that's what is truly inside of us. That's when that comes out. Mm-hmm. And our speaker was Kelly Minter this week. She's an author. And,
I like her.
Oh, she's great. Mm-hmm. And I love that she's really honest about stuff. She told a story of she was walking around her friend's car and her friend honked her horn just to scare her messing around. And she said when it happened, it legit scared her, but her reaction was not godly.
Oh, no.
And then, lo and behold, her neighbors were there watching her, and she was really frustrated because it wasn't the best look for her faith to her neighbors,
Yeah.
And she thought, if my friend just hadn't honked the horn, I would not have had that reaction. But the reality is that reaction was inside of her. And that was the problem. And that was the point she was making. Because you can blame other people for the situation that causes your reaction, but ultimately, why are you looking at me, Rod?
Because you blame me and Gavin for a lot of things.
Well, you guys make me this way.
Once again, another blame.
Yeah, so in Mark 7, Jesus addresses this when he gets into it with the Pharisees. He says, these people worship me in vain. Their teachings are merely human rules. You have to let go of the commandments of God that you're holding on to, your human traditions. You have to let go of the human traditions that you're holding on to, because in Jewish tradition, they had added a whole bunch of rules and regulations. So it was all about how you looked on the outside, not what was truly inside. But then he goes on to list a bunch of things that make us defiled inside, the problems inside. He says, from within, out of a person's heart, that evil comes. Sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, greed, malice, deceit, lawlessness, envy, slander, arrogance, folly. That covered a bunch of stuff. I know we tend to raise other people's sins and say, well, their sin is really, really bad. But that covers a whole lot of stuff that both Betty and Gavin do.
Okay.
Yeah, and me, fine. And this stuff doesn't just appear, because we keep it at bay so many times. But then when something happens, some external force, all of a sudden it creeps to the surface. And that's kind of the problem. And the thing is, though, the thing I keep coming back to is that Jesus isn't interested in us modifying our behavior. A lot of times we try to do that. We go, oh, you got to do all these things right. He's not interested in that. He's interested in the change that happens at our core, so that when the pressure is on, our responses will actually look more like Jesus.
And we'll say fiddlesticks.
Fiddlesticks, exactly. That's what my mom always said. I still say that to this day. Do you remember that Kevin Costner movie, Field of Dreams? If you build it, they will come. Hey, it's Wally, and that's exactly what I'm doing in my backyard. I always wanted to have a sweet built-in barbecue area, and I'm finally building it. How? I did a cash-out refinance with United Faith Mortgage, and with some of that money, I'm doing my backyard, and with a little bit more of it, I'm taking my wife on an amazing 30th anniversary trip. And all because I took a few minutes out of my day to talk to United Faith Mortgage. My guy, Ryan, who's also the founder of this faith-based family of mortgage professionals, showed me multiple options, and I got to pick what worked for me. And I'm so happy I did this because I'm reaping the benefits now. And truth be told, I still have a bunch of money left over to do some other things because the value of my house has gone up so much, and the same might be true for you. And with United Faith Mortgage, there's never any pressure. And similar to Field of Dreams, if you call, they will answer. United Faith Mortgage. Start online, call anytime. UnitedFaithMortgage.com.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
Uplifting Way FM.
He's wise beyond his years.
I can't really tell, but it seems like he's very good.
Here's Gavin.
When you think of a rescue animal in like a dire situation like an avalanche or an earthquake or something like that, you're probably going to instantly think of a dog, I would assume.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was thinking rabbit.
Really?
Yeah.
You would want a rabbit coming to your
rescue
aid.
rabbits, yeah. Or Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
There you
go. Yeah, chipmunks.
But apparently, scientists are trying to train, and this is, I don't know about this one, they're trying to train rats to come to the rescue. And the form with which they are trying to train these rats is that they will come through earthquake debris carrying a little backpack on their back.
How much can they carry?
And in that little backpack, and this thing I actually think is cool, it's going to be
a thimble of water.
It's actually going to have a little microphone in it so that rescue teams can talk to survivors. And in a situation like an earthquake where there's a ton of debris, you obviously have to, if you can send something small like a rat in. And then if you're a survivor, you're able to have that communication with people who are trying to rescue you. It sounds like it would be very helpful.
That would be great, because I know like they do use dogs for that, but then only dogs can get to so many places. And sometimes there's a narrow pathway to get to a cavern, that they can get to people where someone is still alive. That is a really great idea. But can you imagine, like, you're that person down there and you're like, okay, I'm stuck in a building. Great, now here's a rat, and you kill it.
I'd be freaking out.
Yeah. Or you just hear the rat talking to you because you don't know it's wearing a backpack microphone. You think I'm hallucinating here. And I really hope, this is my final thought on this, I really hope that this project that they're doing is called Ratatouille. I think that would be good.
That would be amazing.
Yeah,
well done.
I think that's what they should call it, Project Ratatouille.
Okay.
Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show. And Betty Rock, you've had your car since I've known you, Jubal.
You've seen Green Bean.
I saw Green Bean first, and then Jubal. How long have you had Jubal?
I got him in December of 2010.
Okay. Oh, wow. Because my truck is 2013, so my truck's 9 years old, and that makes your
mine is coming up on 12 years old.
12 years old. Wow.
I know.
There was a time at which I remember you were going to get a new car. You're like, Wally, I really want a new car. Something that just says Betty Lou. And I said, I think Jubal does. But then you were like, yeah, but not having a car payment is pretty great.
It's so nice. I haven't had a car payment in a while. And with the inflation being as it is, a lot of people are deciding to hang on to their cars. And so I found this article that said the average age of vehicles on U.S. roadways is about 12.2 years. Yeah. But of course, when you hang on to a car longer, it starts showing some characteristics.
Has some age. Yeah, it has some age to it.
Like, for instance, I know that Green Bean, my Mustang that I had before the car that I have now, if I took that thing over 60 miles an hour, there was a chirping sound in the dash I could never figure out. I'd sit there and pound like on the dashboard, and it would never work. And then the 1 and the 5 button on the presets for my radio fell off, so I had Scotch tape to hold them on.
That's so great.
But it was my little Green Bean.
I know.
Loved him.
Old cars are awesome. Becca, that used to work on the show, she had a minivan, and she started it with a screwdriver.
Whoa.
When you don't have a car payment, you'll do a lot of things.
Absolutely. It feels great. All right. So what is that thing that makes your car old, okay? But it makes it special to you.
Yeah.
You kind of laugh. Yeah, I could go buy a brand new car and have everything function properly.
Right.
But why do that? I love it that my blinker doesn't go click, 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 click. It goes, ee-haw, ee-haw, It's just part of the charm of the car.
Are you driving a mule?
Yeah, exactly. It's a blinker mule. And so 855-33-WAY-FM is the number. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. I'd love to know, what is that characteristic that you're like, okay, this makes my car officially old. 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll take yours now.
So for you, Brian, with your older car, what's that little unique characteristic it has?
This was my first car, actually, and it ended up being about 15 years old when I had it. I got it from my grandfather. I could start my truck without any keys. So I was at school, I was at work, no matter where I was. Didn't need to I could turn it off, but I could start the car without any keys into it.
Boy, I know that's not safe, but really, if you have a car that can do that, probably no one's wanting to steal it anyway. So you're pretty safe,
I didn't have to worry about forgetting my keys. It was great.
Yeah, that actually is kind of nice. That should be a feature they have on new cars.
You bet.
All right, Joel, what is that thing that makes your old car unique, but it means it's an old car?
When I was in college, I had an old Audi Fox, a manual transmission, and it had no second gear, no fourth gear, and no reverse.
How did you get anywhere? Like, you got somewhere slowly, and then you couldn't leave.
Yeah, it was a little bit of work, but, I made it work.
If you ever found yourself having to go in reverse, what would you do?
I just had to park in a unique place. If it was up a hill, I had to park so that I could just put it in neutral and just kind of slide out of the parking lot.
That's great.
It was very interesting. Yeah,
I had a 79 Trans Am. I worked at a surf shop, and the alternator or something was bad, so I couldn't turn my car off because it would die, and I couldn't start it. So I would leave it running for the 2 hours that I was at work.
What?
I left it parked in front of the store and left it running for like 2 hours that I worked.
That's terrible for the environment.
Oh, yeah, and it was like a 79 Trans Am, so it wasn't even remotely thinking about the environment back then. It cost me a fortune in gas.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't do that today. I'd have to sell my house to do that today with gas prices.
That's true.
So, Catherine, what is it that makes your old car unique?
That I had it for 22 years. It was a 1999 GMC Jimmy. My brother was a mechanic, and he worked on the engine, and I bought it from his dealership. I raised my 2 girls in it, and when I sold it, the dealership said they were amazed on how good the engine was, but the poor thing's body was deteriorating, so I had to sell it.
Your car kind of sounds like me. my engine's still working, but my body's just giving out.
Yeah.
How many miles were on it when you sold it?
323,000 miles.
Holy cow!
Is a lot of life lived in that car. That's awesome.
There was a lot of love carried in it, a lot of love taking care of it.
And a lot of Cheerios in between the seat.
That's what was probably holding the body together.
Yes, exactly. All right, Gene, you're up. What makes your car an old car?
Well, I'll be driving down the road, and all of a sudden, all the gauges will go to zero.
Gas gauge, everything, it just dies?
Yeah, so I always would keep an eye on the gas, so just in case my trick didn't work, at least I'd know when I had to hit the gas. I don't know if you remember the Happy Days and Fonz.
Oh, with the jukebox? When you would hit the jukebox?
Yeah, if I hit the dashboard just in the right place, all the gauges would come back on.
Oh, that's so great. And you know what? It's a Mitsubishi. That was probably in the manual somewhere.
Oh, probably. But, it's 19 years old and it's still running. So.
Oh, that's great. You're still driving this thing.
Yep.
Oh, well, God bless you. Good luck.
It's always there for me, so.
At least your radio works so you can listen to the show. That's pretty good.
Well, there you go. I mean, other than that, it'd be in the junkyard.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show, and we do a thing called the Scoop there to help you out with different things in life, make your life a little better, a little easier. And Betty Rock is the scoopiest scooper. She seems to come up with more of these things than is imaginable.
And this scoop is very helpful for women.
Oh, okay.
All across the world.
All right.
And also for men that could have like very long hair and be mistaken for a woman like you were at one point in the 80s.
Happened to me in the 80s.
You get catcalled.
Oh, yeah. I got catcalled before as a dude. Yeah, that dude looked like a lady. And I had really, really super long. My hair was great, by the way. It
must have been.
It was bleach blonde, naturally, and teased to perfection every day, even at my construction job. Wow. Yeah, crazy.
Wow. Well, in those situations, typically we don't know how to respond. But a TikTok that I saw, it's going viral because this woman had the perfect response. As she's walking down the street, she passes these men just hanging out, and they're wishing her to have a good day.
Have a good day at work, miss.
What?
Have a good day at work, miss.
Oh, I thought you were like begging for money or something.
Nice. Oh, you hear all his boys
Yeah,
yeah, because he thought he was being so smooth.
Yep.
That's actually a really good thing, because guys that will do this, guys that will catcall at women, that's just uncouth. You shouldn't be doing that nonsense. But it happens, know, and stuff. And so that kind of response, because a lot of times when women respond, it can escalate the situation or it can be worse and things like that. That is one that just shuts you down as a guy.
Yeah, and it also puts him in his place, especially when his friends are there.
Oh,
They're like,
yeah.
How much money do you need?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you were homeless. My bad. That's so good. Well, there you go. That is a scoop that hopefully you won't ever need to use. But if you do, you're prepared. Look, I know one of the biggest bonuses of a podcast is being able to skip through things you don't want to hear about, but I would encourage you just to sit tight for just a second, because as the war in Ukraine enters month 3, it's hard to believe it's been that long, and you watch all the stories of families being displaced and lives being shattered, and you think, man, that's really sad. I wish there was something I could do about it. Here's the cool thing. You and me and all the potties could get together and actually maybe make a difference by helping families in Ukraine who have been displaced by all this violence. There's nearly 11 million people that have been forced out of their homes. And imagine that. You can't take everything with you. You've got to just pick and choose the few things you can carry as you try to get your family to safety. They say desperate times calls for desperate measures. Well, these are desperate times. That's why the Wally Show is partnering with Food for the Poor and 3,500 pastors in Ukraine and surrounding countries to help feed these people. And here's what's really cool. You can provide a meal for 25 cents, a quarter what we plug into a gumball machine. You could actually feed a child a meal. So now do some math with me. Your gift of $1 would actually feed a family of 4. Your gift of $10 sends 40 meals. Your gift of $25 will feed 100 people who desperately need it. So while this is a really sad story on the world stage, it is really cool to see the difference that a few motivated potties could make. So text the word Wally to 91999. That's Wally, W-A-L-L-Y, to 91999, and we'll send you a link to make a difference today.
These are the least important stories out of Hollywood, but nonetheless entertaining. Here's Betty Rock with the least of these.
They say music has the ability to touch anyone's heart, no matter your race, gender, religion, or political stance. And according to doctors, it can also bring someone out of a coma.
What? Music?
Yes. A list was put together of songs that have been documented in medical cases of waking someone up from unconsciousness. Okay, so it includes, after a serious car accident, a 22-year-old woke up when his parents played this song at his hospital bed.
This would wake me up, and I'd instantly probably put my cell phone in the air on a light. Like, what? I'm awake. Here we go. I do rock fingers or something.
Course.
That's what happened. One hand just went up slowly, and the rock fingers went up. It's like, I'm here, Mom and Dad.
Bon Jovi. He's doing it. After 258 days in a coma, a young girl woke up when her mom started humming this song in her ear.
Oppan Gangnam Style.
She woke up and it was just like, stop. Just stop. I can hear everything that's going on. Just stop this, please, now.
And due to some serious brain hemorrhaging, the doctors weren't sure a 7-year-old patient would wake up from her coma. But her mom played this song, and the girl woke up smiling.
Yeah. This song, well, I don't know what year it was released. It was an earworm, man. You could not go anywhere without hearing this song somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't care what song it is. If you're a parent and your kid comes out of a coma, you will love that song forever.
Yeah, and especially, too, it's got to make these artists feel good about the fact that they're, bringing families back together.
That's
maybe even
crazy.
saving lives.
I mean, the thing is, we see it every day, the difference a song makes in somebody's life. You know, these songs that have truth and God's truth in them. And it changes people. And so, music is powerful. But it's funny that some of these songs are things that have actually triggered somebody and snapped them out of it.
Well, and I'm pretty sure, like you said, if you were in that situation, if we played like a Striper song
absolutely.
or Dragon Force.
Yeah, if you guys played Striper, I'd pop out of a coma, but everyone else in the room would go back into one. All right, that's going to do it for your least of these. Thank you, Lady Rock. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show, and we on the show like science, and we like scientific studies and things like that, especially personality type stuff. So Betty Rock found this one personality test that we could take.
Yeah, because I thought it might bring to light some things that maybe we've done well or things that we could work on. And it's the How Likeable Am I personality test. So, yeah. So I wanted Wally, Gavin, and I to take this and go over the results that we got from it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So we've all done that. Let's go through some of the questions first, because I think the questions are very interesting.
Can I ask the first question? Because I'm very curious to know what you said on this.
Because the ratings were 2 thumbs down, 1 thumb down, even, or 2 thumbs up, or 1 thumb up, or 2 thumbs up.
Okay. So here we go. I usually take time to really listen in depth to what is going on in other people's lives.
I barely heard a thing you just said.
So you were down in the bottom category.
I double thumbed that one down. And again, I understand that. But I always contend that within these things, you have different parts of your personality. Some are work things and some are home things. I'm a double thumbs down at work because I don't want to know about other life stuff. I just want to get the job done, you know? And I don't care about other life stuff other than you two. You two are my family, you know? But I don't need it that way. But I do find myself even, I'm trying to see if my wife's listening. I do find myself, the older I've gotten, where I'm starting to filter out information that I know is not important. and I know it's not
good.
going to matter, and I don't listen to it like I used to.
Now, see, I'm on the opposite end. I gave it 2 thumbs up.
Really?
But I also have other reasons why I do this is because I'm super nosy and curious just about other people's lives.
Oh, you are. You are. Gavin, where did you land on that?
I would only give myself 1 thumbs up because I think I'm maybe 30 years away from what you just described, where I just miss things. I try so hard. And my wife just tells me all these things that I've missed. And I'm like, I try so hard to listen to you.
How did you guys end up with the refrain from judgment? I double thumbed down that one because I'm like, I judge everything.
Yeah.
And you're super judgmental.
I can be.
You
so
are.
I was realistic with my answer. I didn't give 2 thumbs, but I gave myself 1. Oh, come on.
You're a 2-thumber all day long.
Stop.
What has 2 thumbs and is super judgmental? This girl. Let me see. Some of the other ones.
How about this one?
What?
I consider the feelings and options of others just as valuable as my own.
I 1 thumb down.
I have literally heard you say, no one's opinion matters but mine.
I think, okay, I double thumb down
If you
that
disagree with me, then you're wrong.
Then you're wrong. Absolutely. That's the confidence that I bring to this job every day. Confidence. Or arrogance. That was another one. You're often described as arrogance. 2 thumbs up.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, so we'll go through a couple more of these questions, but I want to get to our results, too, of like where we ended up on this likability test. And we'll do that within 10 here on The Wally Show. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show, and we're going through this personality test that Betty found about how likable you are. I don't know why she chose this, but okay. I don't know if she's trying to tell me something, but...
No.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Just wanted to bring to light to things that maybe we could work on.
So we all took the test, and we're kind of going through some of the results, and, like some of the questions, someone being funny at a social event, you feel the need to outdo them, and you could... thumb up or thumb down it, or double thumb up it. I double thumbed up it for sure. But that's me. Like I'm that performer that always wants to be the funniest guy in the room, and that's definitely not you.
No, I would let somebody else shine. I'm good.
Yeah. You're
I'm
good
okay.
to take the back seat. Gavin, I would assume it's the same for you.
I went neutral just because if I'm in a group of my peers, then yes, I will try to do that. But if I'm in some room like here at work, I'm not even going to try and compete with you just because you are much louder than I am.
No, that was the wrong way to put that. But
anyone is louder than you.
That's true. Yeah, exactly.
You easily look on the bright side. I'm curious where you guys fell on this because I definitely am. I'm low on that because I see the negative things first.
I gave myself 1 thumb up, so not double, but 1.
Gavin,
I am a 2 thumbs up kind of person.
That's good,
but I am someone who hasn't gone through a ton of hardship in my life, so it is easy for me to see the upside in a lot of things.
Okay, now this one I know, like you're difficult to please, always thinking something could be better. I double thumbed up myself on this because I know I do it here at work, I do it in my personal life. I always think things can be better, and I want to be better, so I did that. Betty Rock?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't do a lot of judgment. Like, I'm a judgment-free person.
No, not even close.
So not true.
Yeah, like you're the most judgiest of the judgy. Like Pharisees in the Bible would be like, have you seen Betty? Her work is pretty amazing.
Okay, so I want to know percentage-wise, after you did the test, what number did you come up with?
I'm going to say not good. I'm sure you guys came out more likable than I did, obviously.
Okay, I'll go first.
Thank you.
I got to 72.14%.
Oh,
what
nice.
in the world?
Yes.
72?
I had the exact same number, so we're just as likable.
Hey!
What in the world? You guys, like, something's wrong, or you lied or something.
Did you make it into the 60s?
Or 50s?
No.
40s?
43.
Oh! That makes sense.
I came in at 4. What do you mean that makes sense?
No, just because you are
I'm polarizing. Yeah. Yes, I'm very polarizing.
What departments did you come high in? Or no, what's your lowest?
Tolerance. I have trouble tolerating things and people and lunacy. My highest was honesty. But the thing about this is, if you read the honesty thing, it's like it wasn't bad. Research has shown that we gravitate towards people who are honest and can be relied upon. And that they're clear and they're frank about their opinion. So there's actually a lot of good with that, and you know where you stand with people. They're trustworthy.
Well, it's interesting you said that because honesty was at my lowest.
Oh. I believe that.
But I mainly do that because I don't want to tell people the truth because I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Sure. What was your highest?
Kindness and humor.
I could see that. Both of those are accurate for you. Gavin?
My highest was friendliness. That went all the way to the top.
Oh, wow.
And then the lowest one for me was happiness, which I thought was interesting. It says that
always worried about the happy people.
Yeah, the one element that attracts us to the others is feeling that they are happy with who they are, comfortable in their own skin and where they are in life. And maybe that sounds like confident people, and I don't exude confidence.
I've always worried about the happy people that are obliviously happy that the world is just great, and you're like, they are going to snap. They are a time bomb, and I've always felt that about Gavin. So there's an interesting side note to this. Is a minute ago I was talking about not caring about people's opinions and listening less, and I find myself doing that at home. And I was kidding around, saying, "Oh, I do this with my wife too." And but is she listening? And then I will share the text stream here in 10 minutes. It resulted from that.
Turns out she was listening.
Yeah, she was actually. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show, and even when she's not trying, Betty Rock somehow manages to get me in trouble.
What?
We did this personality test that she wanted to do and instigated, and she knows I'm really honest in these things. And so we're talking on the air, and one of the questions was, do you not listen to people as they're talking because you don't find what they're saying that interesting.
Or that you just don't care.
Right. And so I had said, yeah, that happens to me all the time at work. And then I was joking, going, well, and to some degree it happens at home too. The older I get, I'm deciding what information is really relevant and pertinent to what I need to know.
And as you're saying this, you're like, I don't think my wife is listening.
Oh boy, was I wrong. It's funny because she here's the text thing. Wife, definitely listening, weird emoji face. Wally, what? Question mark. Because Betty goes, you should just say what? Because then it's a joke, you're not listening to her still.
Exactly.
And then she goes, it was almost like you could see her stopping herself in her writing. She goes, wife, you said, hope my wife isn't listening, how you tune me out, basically. Wait, I get it now. It's so funny. I said, I'm glad you picked up on the joke. I love almost all your stories.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I could never just leave it where it is. I should have just said, just kidding.
How? And you're blaming it on me for getting you in trouble?
Yeah, because
you dug the hole and buried yourself in it.
Would not have had this conversation had you not brought this whole thing up and you knew this would happen to me.
Oh, what's this? An email? For me?
Uplifting Way FM. This is The Wally Show. If you ever want to get a hold of me for whatever reason, it's just wally@wayfm.com. This is from Thomas. Subject line, thank you. So I obviously opened that up. But he says, hey, Wally, just want to drop you a line and say thank you. I listen to your show every day, and because of your enthusiasm and the way you speak about Colorado Christian University, I became a student last year. That's so cool. Because Betty Rock went there. She's an alum, has 2 degrees. I taught there. And so since then, I'm nearly finished with my MA in theological studies, and I'm interviewing for a professor job in the nursing department. That's awesome, man.
That's a big deal.
That is really cool. I love that too. And think about it. He's like, yeah, I heard you talking about it, and he finally made the step to go, and then he's changing his life. I love that.
And you could be just like that as well.
Absolutely. That's really cool. Yeah, Colorado Christian University. We can't say enough good things about them. And say this one's really good. Okay, I got this from a couple people because everybody knows my stance on plastic straws and how I believe McDonald's has the best plastic straws ever.
I went to a place recently that was serving only paper straws.
Yeah.
It was horrible. It collapsed on me.
Yes, see?
It collapsed on me.
I know, and the vast amount of plastic in the ocean is not straws, it's fishing equipment. That's the stuff that's really damaging. But anyway, don't get me started. I watched the whole documentary. But I love those straws, and this was so great. Somebody sent me, multiple people sent me this. It said, the green movement in a single photo, and it's a picture of a paper straw in a plastic wrapper.
Oh my gosh.
Ironic.
I know. I'm like,
stupid.
I know, right? That's the whole thing. We get such on these tangents, and that turtle with the straw in his nose started this whole tangent of collapsible straws now that was kind of misguided. Like nice in that, like, you want to take care of the environment and animals. That's a good thing. But it was misguided in its target. Like, leave my McDonald's straws alone.
Or when you get a paper straw in a huge plastic cup.
Yeah.
Like, that's what happened to me when I went to Dunkin'.
Yeah.
I'm like, this huge plastic cup is taking up way more than a plastic straw would.
Yep, there you go.
Ugh.
So I just love that one. The green movement in one photo. Hey, if you ever want to email me, it's simple. Wally@wayfm.com.
Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online and United Faith Mortgage for supporting what we do.